of Mr. Derek. Yes, 313 285 6627. This is the show you did not want to miss. We have two very, very special guests in our audience today, and I'm going to let them tell you just a little bit about themselves just as I introduce them. First, I have Mr. Calvin Clay. Calvin, talk to us. Tell us just a little bit about your business side and what you do for a profession.
All right, so yes, my name is Kevin Clay. Sorry. I'm the head instructor at the Mayweather Boxing and Fitness Club in Birmingham, Michigan. I've been doing personal training and doing boxing coaching now for going on, I want to say 10 years. I've been an active fighter for about 6 of those 10 years. Aside from that, I also train dogs professionally, anywhere from basic obedience training to full-on service protection dogs. So that's in a nutshell what I've been doing now for about the last now, it's about 3 years, just continually growing and just gaining more knowledge and more experience and looking to go from there.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Um, we also have in the studio a very special person, and her name is Janae Turner. Janae, I
Hi.
want to know about girls, from girls to women. Talk to us. Tell us a little bit about your professional side, your business side,
Hmm.
and how or what to girls from women is all about.
For sure. My name is Janae Turner. I am currently a paramedic. I have a passion for medicine. That's like my career, my personal life. My, that's the dream I want to pursue. But I am also the founder and president of Two Girls from Women. Two Girls from Women is a program that I founded for the reasons of being to create a safe space for young girls to bond and create sisterhood while also giving them resources and experiences and skills to develop into young women. And we help them by doing that. So, yeah, that's kind of me in a nutshell. That's my mission for the girls. That's my goal. And I just always had a passion for helping the youth anyway. So,
Well, what we have is a diverse concept of people that the groups, are able to help. Okay? In your case, Janae, you're working with young girls and women,
yes.
and Mr. Clay, he's working with adults and children and all over the scope. Um, but what I wanted to do was, for a second, just look at the concept of the generation gap. Is there a generation gap? And I want us to talk about that, both from a women perspective and just in general.
For sure. So yes, of course we discussed plenty of times. Yes, it is a generation gap. Um, just to kind of give a bottom line about the whole spiel because I can go deeper into it. But I think there is a generation gap because of lack of community among each other, and we have lost the ability to truly guide the youth in the best it, to guide the youth and put them in the best position. And the reason why I feel like it's community because when growing up when I was younger, community was very big in my generation, and we had a lot of people looking out for us, a lot of people guiding us. We had a village, and with the village comes I don't know opportunities, different experiences. You know, like I said, that bonding aspect of it, it just helps you grow into the person you want to be. Just because you have so many eyes on you, and they truly want to see you succeed. So that's yes. To answer your question, it is a generation gap.
What do you
And
think about that, Kevin?
I agree. It's definitely a generational gap. Um, we have a lot of lost youth. You know, like I said,
for sure,
idolatry is such a big thing amongst our communities now. And with us not having proper leadership, us not having proper guidance, so many of us are out here looking for and searching for, all the right answers, but we're all looking in the wrong places. A lot of us have been so conditioned to, do what feels good, do what feels right, following in behind those, who appear to be doing the things that we want, but because of this social media and the social area that we in, a lot of people not really authentic in talking about, everything that happens with it. A lot of them just see the end result, but don't see the process. And I think that's kind of the difference with this generational gap, because a lot of, when you look at like our mothers and fathers and grandmothers and grandfathers, stuff like that, there was a tight knit unity, kind of like what Janae was saying. We were all in a community. I remember even myself just growing up, we were always together. Me and my cousins, we used to do all types of stuff together, sleepovers, going out, hanging out, doing all types of stuff together. And unity is one, everybody is now, it's like every man for himself. You know what I mean? Too
Every
many
man for
just,
himself, every woman for themselves. Is that really going on, Miss Janae?
Yes, I agree. To what Kevin is over there talking about. I think so in a way because okay, I think because society made it as such that you do have to fend for yourself. So, and that's a deeper conversation as far as how society is now going to this individual way of if you have no choice but to fend for yourself and only worry about yourself, then you can't build that community. So I believe it's very institutional
yes.
and it's purposeful.
Well, here's the thing that I want us to try to look at is when I know when I was growing up, and it's not too much longer than when you guys were coming along, but we all ate together. We we had to. It was like a family. We were all bonding together. Okay, if I did something wrong, or I threw a rock through somebody's window, okay, God forbid, okay, but I could get my butt beat by 8 people coming on my way back home. All of them could beat my butt. Okay,
Period.
that was the way family was then. Okay, talk to me about how family is now.
Nowadays, if we was to take that same example, you with a group of your friends, family, and y'all walking down the street and something, one of them decides like, hey, let's pick up this rock and throw it through the window. Nowadays, those friends, they gonna pull out their phone and record you doing it. Like, yeah, yeah, look what we doing. And the unfortunate part about that is that now, with even when it comes to the concept of families, we glorify this behavior instead of correcting that behavior. We glorify everything that is wrong, but don't teach what is right. And then everybody, because of how things are institutionalized and taught within our, generation now, is that, well, everybody has an opinion. Everybody's right. And the problem with that is if everybody is right and there's no concept of what is wrong, how are you able to distinguish the difference and apply correction? Everybody can't be right, just like everybody can't be wrong, but there is no guidelines, to kind of shape and mold that. And like I stated earlier, so because there's no guidelines to shape and mold that, this is why we see so many of our young kids in our generation, well, I'm gonna do what feels good. I'm gonna do what looks good. I'm gonna do what sounds good because there's nobody that's laying that law down like you were saying, Mr. Derek. If I, even myself, I know if I was with me, I'm not gonna say my cousin's name, on live, but I'm just saying if me and my cousins was out here and and I decided to pick up a rock and I decided to throw it through a window, my cousin's gonna fold me. They gonna punch me right then and there. I don't even. It's not even. I don't have to wait till we get back home. What will be worse? I'm gonna get back home and my mom and my dad gonna be looking at me like, why your eye black? Why your lip busted? And then when I explain my cousin hit me, why he hit you? Because he picked up the rock and threw it through somebody's window. Now I'm about to get some correction from my parents. And then let alone, like I said, but nowadays, you come home and you tell somebody like that or you see that, like they just sweep it under the rug. And it's unfortunate even for like our parents and stuff now, because they
It's
got it
an
so hard.
enabling. It's an enabling
Yeah,
goes on
it
right
just
now.
keeps
I
going
mean,
on. It never stops.
the children of this age now have been so enabled that they can almost do no wrong,
Right.
and they become spoiled at that. And this is a problem, right, Janae?
Yeah,
Talk about it.
yeah, no, it's a problem for sure. But while I can see a problem, I'm really big on solutions.
Wow, wonderful.
So we can
Let's
sit
hear it.
here and keep pointing out that it's a problem, it's a problem, it's a problem.
Let's hear it. Let's
But
hear
I
it.
think at a certain point, how do we sit there and realize that we're here to lead? We have to take accountability. And when I say we, I mean like the older generation, even my generation. How can we lead by example?
That is correct.
So they only, as kind of what Kevin was saying, you know, like yesterday, is they can only do what they see. They can only um imitate
Or
what they see, correct?
emulate us. Yes.
So it's like so how do we do better as the older generation? Because I can sit there and say kids do this, kids do that, and I'm not real big on saying like, oh, kids are just doing that, and can hold them accountable, but only to a certain extent. So it's like we have to come to a place where we're holding ourselves accountable to be a better example for them.
Absolutely.
We would like to thank the house that God built for sponsoring this show. The house that God built. That is the sponsor of our show. And the mantra or the running orders of this organization is changing the world. Changing the world by saving our youth. Changing the world by saving our youth. And that's what we do. And as you're saying, we can't really change the youth unless we change ourselves. What about that, Kevin?
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. I can't say it enough. I can't stress it enough. As I stated yesterday, you can't change anything without changing yourself. Change starts with you first. You can't expect somebody to do something that you're not willing to do or you're not walking in yourself. That's living in a state of hypocrisy. And hypocrisy causes confusion. So if there is no clear cut guideline as to what exactly is the expectation and you're not perpetually walking in that expectation, then you're just setting the youth up for confusion and for failure at that point. You know, you have to be the change. You know, everybody wants to talk about change and let's make the world better and let's bring peace and let's do this. But kind of like what Janae just said recently, you know, what action are you taking behind to for that change though? Like I hear everybody talk about it, but what are you physically doing? What are you changing in your own life? What type of testimony do you have to share with the younger generation that may be going through what you went through, right? But the difference is you never even overcame it yourself, and but you're trying to tell them what they should do or what they shouldn't do, but yet you're walking the next yourself.
Okay.
You're not helping the change at all. You're actually, if anything, are encouraging to stay in that same state of hypocrisy. You're teaching them at a young age that it's okay to talk and not have no actions behind that.
That's
So,
that's powerful. That's powerful. And I just want to reflect back to Janae again. Her organization is about change. It's about two girls
Yes.
from women.
Hmm.
Okay, it will affect positive change. I'm going to let her talk about it more so than me, but I was moved as I saw an organization willing to reach out and help the young and the old too, the older, because a communication has to occur between the two. Go ahead, Miss Janae.
Yeah, so Two Girls from Women, right? Like I said earlier, it's a organization based on helping girls develop into women. We also give them this safe space to just be girls while bonding and giving them sisterhood. Now, this is very important for me. So when I say it and when I think about it, this is just something that I had when I was younger. I had sisterhood among girls, and that I still currently have to this day. And just growing with that and having that unconditional love, but also being held accountable by these sisters of mine, that brought me to who I am today. So, and not only that, but then also having these older women in my life that became mentors, aunties, you know, sisters, older sisters themselves. Um, it's a great thing to have. It's a great thing to feel and to know that you do have a village and community behind you. So, so going back into the organization piece, that's what kind of led me to go make this organization for young girls. They need it, and it's something that you can feel that they need. It's nothing that I could like truly describe with words at first. It was just something that I noticed that was missing in the community. So yeah, so we give them this space. We put on different things, programs for them. The age group is 5 to 21, and the 21 being it because at 18, a lot of things get cut off at 18. So we wanted to spread that age range to 21 because when I was 21, I still needed help with a lot of things. I still didn't know what I was doing. So we give them different tools.
You mean you're not 21 now?
Come on.
Go ahead.
Of course not. But yeah, we give them tools, like resources. And currently, like we're running, I call it like a mental health month for the girls, and it's just really teaching them how to manage conflict, manage their anger. And I'm talking about like these are different things that we're trying to teach these girls so they can have these skills and these abilities at a young age so you don't have to grow up struggling with just emotional regulation.
Hmm.
What I want to point out is here is a young, positive minded individual who has a career, who's working in the workforce, but yet she's seen or saw problems with our youth. And she didn't just say, oh well. She started a very positive organization. And if you would like to contribute or you would like to find out more information about From Girls to Women, please call 313 285 6627. Call our platform. Call the platform of changing lives. That's really what we really are excited about actually doing. Okay, Mr. Clay,
Yes,
you
sir.
bring about change through self defense and through dog training or animal training. Talk about that. I mean, how do you deal or what changes are brought about through each method?
So when it comes to the self-defense portion, for me, it all starts with situational
Oh,
awareness.
I'm sorry. We need to let people know who you are. Okay, we need to know. Let them know. Go ahead,
Yeah.
talk to them. Tell them that. Go ahead.
Okay. So, short story. Okay. I got started with it. Okay. I got diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at 6 years old. So, in doing so, I was a lot smaller than a lot of the people that was in my peers, a lot of my friends, the people. I actually spent my sixth birthday in the hospital. Spent my sixth birthday in the hospital, after my diagnosis. I ended up having to have a blood transfusion when I was born, all types of little stuff. So, fast forwarding, because of that, I was under so much medication at a young age that I was a lot smaller than a lot of people that I grew up with. So in doing so, considering where I was at, part of Detroit that we was near 7 Mile in Greenfield. I was with my grandmother and stuff like that. Got bullied and stuff a lot. So bullied, jumped, robbed, shot at, weapons pulled, you name it, I've experienced it. So because of it, like seeing all those things at a young age, it put me in a position where I had to learn how to defend myself. It was one of those like kill or be killed type of situations. So then fast forwarding, I spent a lot of time training, learning about all these different tactics. I was always obsessed with like military and law enforcement, and I actually wanted to be a SEAL. That was always my long. Anybody who knows me know that that was always my long-term goal. What I always wanted to do. I had spent all of my pretty much childhood and teenage like training myself to get ready for that. And the year that I was ready to enlist was the year that the government changed like the rules and regulations about having, liabilities with health complications like that. So
Unfortunately, we want you to go straight to the point.
yep.
Go ahead, my man.
So because of that, that led to with all the SEAL training being situationally aware, and understanding that, all of the possible things that could happen, you know. So I got into that aspect of it, from being going through all those things, and I was teaching and educating people on what to look for, how to identify and spot threats. And then most of us here in America also have animals. So your animal usually is able to be your first responder, but you're also your first responder. So at this point now, fast forwarding some years later, I'm training and I'm teaching people how to become situationally aware about it with all situations, all signs of danger, and also training your dog to be able to identify those things. So now you got yourself a partner in crime.
So you came from tragedy to triumph.
Absolutely.
Okay, I mean, your situation was you were bullied. You had a very tragic upbringing,
Yeah, man. Bullied,
but
robbed,
yet
stole, you name it.
you became a champion. In tell us about your championships and what led you to what was it that gave you the ability to go to become the champion?
To be honest, man, giving God, Jesus saved my life. When I first got up, my parents was trying to rear me up in church, and it was one of those things because I have a very, very close relationship with my father now. But, I always wanted to be like my dad because didn't nobody ever mess with my dad. He was kind of like that street guy that ain't nobody want to mess with. So it was one of those like, whatever dad do, I want to do. And at the time, dad wasn't going to church. He didn't have really no desire at the time of my life to really want to serve and be in there like that. So because he wasn't doing it, I didn't want to do it. So I found myself going down this wrong path. And when I found myself, trying to get back in alignment with Christ and, starting, surrendering my life unto him, that's where I found my courage, and I really started picking up that Bible and I started reading, I started studying those scriptures and understanding that God put me here for a reason. It's not by happy stance that I went through the things that I went through, but a lot of the stuff that I had to endure was to shape and mold me into the man that I am today. And just constantly reminding myself that, God is with me. God is with me. He said he will never leave me nor forsake me. And every time, I would find myself in these weird positions like that, I kept hearing that. I would always hear that voice, I got you, son, I got you, I got you. And just having that security and knowing that no matter where I go now, no matter what I do now, God got me. It gives you that courage. It gives you that strength. It gives me that press, even when I couldn't go on, the Lord to lift me up and carry me the rest of the way. And like I said, I just continue to give him that honor and that glory.
Wow, wow, wow. Janae, I just have to say to you, the young ladies and the young girls are so truly blessed. And what would you say to a young lady right now uh, as she begins to consider what type of career or what she's going to do for her life?
Oh, I would say have fun. Do like truly find your passion in what you want to do. For me, I kind of always knew from a young age what I wanted to do, but I really say just go out there and have fun and find your passion. And stick to it. That's not anything. Stick to it. My work ethic got me here. Um, my passion, my consistency, my discipline got me here. So with anything you want to do, I don't care if you wanted to be a janitor for the rest of your life. You be a great janitor. You get what I'm saying? So regardless of what you want to do, I just say go be great. Um, I'm opening the eyes of black women can do more than just be a lawyer, doctor, and I know I want to go be one. But they can do more than just that. And that's kind of our replica of life. Lawyer, doctor, nurse, therapist. So it's like go do something else. If you want to go more into the creative, go be a creative. Just express your wings and go experience these different things so you can go be that. So that's my advice. Go have fun.
WGPR Detroit HD2.
You're watching WHPS, Highland Park, Detroit.
You are listening to the voice of Mr. Derek, and he's bringing you a show that's brought on by the house that God built. Yes, the house that God built. And we're thanking our two guests today, which were Calvin Clay and Miss Janae Turner. They have shared with us some really exciting information just about working with people and working with change. Change is everywhere. And that's what the house that God built wants to communicate with everyone. Nothing stays the same. We began this show talking about uh, two generations, a generation gap. There was a one generation, and boy, they all ate food and family. They ate food together. The newest generation now, they don't have time to eat, they don't have time to talk or whatever. But that's change, and change um, can be controlled, and we must be in the posture of trying to make positive change and positive effects. And so, with groups like the Miss Janae from Girls to Women, with groups like Mr. Kevin Clay, and they are helping adults change their patterns. And unless we're willing to change, we stay the same, and nothing actually changes. See you later. God bless you. Again, call 1-313-285-6627 for more information or more feedback. If you want more information from either Mr. Clay or Ms. Turner, we'll be happy to give it to you. God bless you.